much for agreeing to do this.
Oh yeah, no problem. I am honored that someone noticed me somewhere.
I mean, you've
Yeah.
been working hard on this and you're really vocal about your affiliations. Do you want to I don't know, say your name and what your affiliations are and some words about the work that you do?
Yeah, my name's Rai Prysock. I'm a housing justice organizer for Texas Organizing Project. Basically, it's a nonprofit here in Texas that works on social justice issues. So we do criminal justice reform, and we do a lot of electoral work as well. And right now we have a really big election, so that's a big focus.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So, I didn't quite know the extent of your affiliations, and I'm even more glad that I asked you to do this for us.
Yeah.
So, this interview is, like I said before, for Every Dope Girl, which is a platform that's all about networking, strong, hardworking women that are out there doing the thing. And while I don't identify as a woman, I'm very pro woman, a huge feminist, and I've been given the opportunity to participate in this amazing platform. So, today I am tasked with answering this question: how the upcoming election affects every dope girl. And well, we're based in Houston. You're based in Houston. You're a dope girl and you're heavily involved with the election. So I'm kind of hoping that you can help us answer that question since I'm sort of a novice. I assume that a good portion of the people who read our content are voters, but I would assume also that they're voters of my level, which is just I know who the big name I'm going to pick is, but I don't know how that actually affects me, et cetera, et cetera. So, really, I'm here to just ask you some questions along those lines. Do you have an overarching answer about how this election affects people in general?
Um, yeah, I guess it depends on how you look at it. If you're looking at it from kind of like a abstract perspective, a lot of people talk about things like preserving our democracy and a lot of the gross human rights violations. And it's not that that isn't true, because it is. Um, a lot of things that affect you on the daily basis, or things that actually impact your life and your children's lives, are on down ballot races, which get virtually no attention.
Mm.
There's a really strong progressive Latina who's trying to unseat Dan Crenshaw. We're only a handful of seats away from turning the Texas House blue. Um, yeah. Biden's tied 50% to Trump right now in Texas. So um, there's different things. A lot of progressive candidates in down ballot races, or even state board of education. People don't realize they vote for the people who set curriculum, but you
Wow.
do. Yeah.
Okay, so that leads into a really good question. How do you advise someone like me who doesn't realize all of that stuff, or only vaguely realizes but doesn't know how to start or what to do about it? How do you advise someone like me to break into making thoughtful choices with their vote?
Um, Basically, uh, you have to think about what matters to you, the most. Um, I wouldn't really get caught up in a lot of the abstract things that people
Mm.
talk about. Just really think about you and reflect on who you are, and what you care about. A lot of people, they have kids who are struggling in school. Well, go there are people who you vote for at HISD or different school boards. You vote for these people and they make these decisions, and
Mm.
there are bodies and places you can go. A lot of people are concerned about criminal justice, and that's why judges are on the ballot.
Mm.
A lot of people don't realize judges aren't appointed, they have to run. Some judges are appointed, but they have to run. um, so yeah, it's just kind of finding the issues that you care most about and kind of investigating that, like where does that fit in into your local like civic organizations and power structures.
Okay. So, our readership, our followers for Every Dope Girl are predominantly Black women and women of color, predominantly entrepreneurs. I would guess that many of them have children, whether they're in a family dynamic or single mothers. It's oftentimes we're telling stories of people who are um, like beating the odds or just changing the face of entrepreneurship. So, knowing that, can you make some suggestions about how we should approach the ballot and maybe even go as far as making some um, like voting suggestions, even on candidates that you think are oriented towards our. Now, another thing is that being the readership, we're also heavily oriented with social justice. Our platform speaks up about Black Lives Matter. Our founder is a wonderful Black woman. So those are definitely key elements in our voting situation.
Yeah, some of the better candidates, off the top of my head, Penny Morales Shaw. She's running for House District 148. That's like the Heights, North Side area, Acres
Mhm.
Homes, kind of. She's very progressive, very friendly on entrepreneurship, uh, very feminist, Latinx woman, um, and she definitely represents a platform that moms, especially women of color who are entrepreneurs, can get behind.
Mm.
Keela Basie, she's also running for 134, and that's kind of the near Memorial and Johnson. There are a lot of women of color who are progressive who are on the ballot in Texas in this area who represent moms. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, this is moving right along. Okay, so just a casual question about you. How long have you been involved with politics?
Well, I guess like it it seems like a long time since about 2016.
Okay.
So after I was in the Navy, I got out and Trump was elected in November, like a couple months after I got out, and I was like, I'm so grateful that I'm out because I would have done something crazy. I couldn't possibly surf under that man. But
Wow.
um, you know, uh it really drove me like having that kind of shock, and I was like, people have to do something, I have to do something, and I got really involved with volunteering, and I started off as a volunteer at top, and eventually I started working on campaigns and doing a lot of different consulting, um, and yeah, now I work for top as a housing justice organizer. So it's very easy. If you really want to put the work in, you can go from just being a regular volunteer and then in a couple of years be an activist and be a community organizer.
Wow. So, as an activist, as a community organizer, can you just tell me a little bit about what that looks like on a day-to-day basis, like what that work entails?
Right now, because it's COVID, a lot of it is, reaching out to people, finding new ways to reach out to people, and talk to them about their issues. And usually, regardless of what you're calling people about, different social issues, COVID comes up because they're disconnected. Everyone's disconnected,
Mm.
and it is central to a lot of the things that are going on right now. Even in the Harris County Jail, I think it's something like over 50% of the inmates have COVID. If you go to jail right now, it may very well be a death sentence, and that's assuming that you may or may not have committed the crime.
And that's in a time and place in which we know that the criminal justice system is quite broken, quite deficient.
Right.
Wow, you're really blowing my mind. Okay, so On a more personal level, because you yourself are very representative of many of the people on our readership, what would you say are your projections about how this election affects you and the people you fight for?
How it affects me, there is a baby jail in my neighborhood at my train stop, near my train stop. And I tell people that's all the reason I need. I don't want it there.
When you say a
Um,
baby jail, you're talking about an immigration detention center that's like just a jail cell with a bunch of kids in it? Okay,
yes.
thank you. I just want to
Yeah.
clarify that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an ICE detention center. And every time I take the train, I have to go past it. And I know that there are children in there.
Mm,
That alone affects me on a daily basis.
wow.
And you know, this last 4 years has affected so many demographics of people. It's almost like we are very quickly erasing all of the progress that we made in the 20th century.
Mm,
Uh, and so this election is about literally preserving my right to exist, because it's uncertain, if power is unchecked, what could happen to
right.
marginal people.
Wow. I think it's really powerful that me, a transgender person, and you, a Black woman, are sitting on this screen having this particular conversation. I feel that that's really powerful, that progress, and as you say, preserving our right to sit and even have this conversation and broadcast it. That's not something I want to lose at all. I thank you so much for your work. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your organization, about your own work? Are there any like calls to action you'd like to give to our readers about what they can do?
Yeah. So right now at top, I'm working with renters. Um, Basically, a lot of people are being evicted, and Houston is number two in the nation for evictions behind New York. Um, we don't have any local protections, and right now we're trying to organize renters, and create a call to action so that come January 1st, you know, we have all these people who uh, have suffered, and they need their rent paid, and we need debt cancellation, rent cancellation, and that's kind of what we're working on. People can join by texting CASA, CASA, to 4747. And then, also in regards to the election, we're trying to get the word out on that. A lot of people have a difficult time talking to their family and relatives about politics.
Mhm.
It can be a difficult conversation to have. So what we're doing at top is we're using Outvote, and basically we're having these texting parties on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. and Thursdays at 12:30, where we all come together, and we're using this app, and it's cool, and it's Outvote, and we together collectively come together and contact our friends and relatives and ask them, are you registered to vote? Do you know where your polling location is? Do you have a sample ballot? What are some of the issues? You know, it's hard to start that dialogue if you don't know how to do it. So we have these texting parties on Tuesdays and Thursdays to teach people how to do it. And you can join by texting top TOP 2020 to 474747.
Wow. Wow. This has been a very enlightening information. I'm so proud of the work that you're doing. Thank you
Thank
so much for serving a country that you believe in and for expressing your gratitude to be um, free of what could have been your commander in chief. I
you.
think it's,
Yeah.
it's it's brave and bold work that you're doing all around, and we need you. And I'm just so grateful that you're doing it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that someone recognizes the work that I do. And, but, it's not possible without a collective. And we definitely need more people to like get involved and be interested and know what's going on.
Wow. Well, every dope girl is going to do our best to help build that enthusiasm. And yeah, I'll be in touch with you soon when this is all ready.
I'm super excited. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
All right.